戦わなければ守れない。仲間もお前自身も。
自由ってなんて美しく、なんて過酷なんだろう。
What's going on, guys? My name is DJ Miles, and if there's something very intriguing that happened last week, it was the amount of people who not only saw my video, who liked my video, who subscribed to my video. They went ballistic. You people went ballistic in those comment section last week, and we'll get to that in a second. Let's see if this week's video we can get 100 likes. Can we get 100 likes? There's only one way to find out. Now, last week's review, a lot of people are probably wondering, will the Promised Neverland Season 2 and ultimately what the show will become be another Tokyo Ghoul situation? And my quick and short answer to that is, well, I've never seen Tokyo Ghoul, so I can't answer that for you. But I do remember a lot of people talking about Tokyo Ghoul being such an incredible first season, and then after that, it just fizzled out so fast like a shooting star. And will it happen to the Promised Neverland? Here's the thing, as an anime only, I have to immediately say, I'm still appreciating what this season is doing so far. I know a lot of you were very adamant in relaying that information that, well, as a manga reader, DJ Miles, they skipped 10 chapters. And DJ Miles, as a manga reader, they didn't show this one character. So the show is already over. The show might as well be a big piling steam of... So after last week's episode, of course, I'm doing some investigative digging, and I found out that the author of The Promised Neverland is actually overseeing the Promised Neverland anime series, and he probably wants to create an anime original going forward. Now, I haven't read the manga, but there's two things I've heard about the manga. One particular arc is extremely slow, and I'm going to assume it's what they cut out in last week's episode. And more importantly, the ending was very, very polarizing. So let's go ahead and put on our thinking caps for 2 seconds, guys. I'm not making fun of you. Let's just be real here, right? When you come to my channel, I'm going to give it to you straight. And this is what I think. Maybe the author of The Promised Neverland is just going to iron out the kinks and complaints that people had with the manga and give us a potential better show via the anime. There we go. I don't know who this mysterious man is, and I'm sure we may see them later on in this season. So for now, let's chill. As an anime only, everything I've seen so far has been pretty good. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about what happened this week. This week's episode picks up directly with the phone conversation Emma has with William Minerva. And as Emma is trying to ask 1,000 questions, we find out, well, wait a minute, this is a pre-recorded conversation, Emma. And in this pre-recorded message, we find out that William Minerva's name isn't William Minerva, but it is, in fact, James Ratri. He was affiliated with the farms in the past. He hated seeing children sacrificed for this promise that the humans and demons made 1,000 years ago. While working in the farms, that to help these children, he would put clues into these books. One day, unfortunately, the farms discovered what James was doing and they labeled him as a traitor. Now, going off the conversation, it seems like he met his unfortunate demise, or considering what everyone was saying in the comment section last week, and maybe this could have been the secret character you all were telling me about, he's most likely alive and we're just not going to hear about him for a while. Nevertheless, James did tell Emma that you can live in this shelter forever, or if you want to go to the human world, just type in F-U-T-U-R-E, and that spells out future onto the pen that they have. And once that scene was ended, we see this beautiful montage of everyone just laying the foundations in this shelter, just figuring out some more agriculture, training, just having a good time. You see that beautiful music swell up. And again, much like last week's episode, I'm wondering very nervously, oh man, when are these kids going to die one by one? Because no way in hell this story is going to end with a happily ever after type of note. And what happens? Well, I was right. And before we get to that, let's go ahead and quickly talk about Isabella, because Isabella makes her debut. And unfortunately, she's in demon prison because, well, she done goofed up. And these demons relayed the information to Isabella that, Isabella, you're really one of the best moms we have in this farm. It's a little difficult to figure out what we want to do with you. Isabella was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and die right now because I know my children that I raise, they're incredibly intelligent and they have the capacity to escape. And immediately after that scene, we get this cut with 3 girls in the plantation center. One of the girls are like, wow, when can we eat these vegetables? And the other girl was like, well, it takes a very long time for them to harvest. One day, I hope we can pick them up soon. And if that wasn't a metaphor for these kids being picked off like a harvest for these demons, I don't know what was. So I had to say that. And of course, now we see the climax of this episode come in full force. People invaded the shelter. Emma and friends outmaneuver these soldiers, and what happens as they escape to the forest? There are more humans with armor, with bullets, and what happens? They're making way too much noise near that forest, and then we see this huge demon devour all of these humans with the guns, making noise. But of course, it's Ray with an arrow that puts down the monster, or at least damages him severely, which I thought was a bit comedic. I mean, come on, people with guns couldn't do anything, but Ray did something with the arrow to the eye. I rest my case. As they escape to the forest, we cut back to Isabella negotiating with the demons, because the demons are like, listen, if our men mess up this operation, we want you to retrieve the children, every single one of them. And if you do that, we're gonna get rid of that tattoo you have on your neck, we're gonna get rid of the tracking device, an explosion in your heart, and we're gonna let you go free. And where's free? To the actual human world. And Isabella gave off those creepy vintage Isabella vibes from season 1, which I absolutely love. Is Isabella going to do this? I guess we'll find out. But truthfully speaking, I feel like since Isabella showed in the first half of this episode how adamant and how proud she was with her children escaping the farms and just how intelligent they were, Isabella is going to communicate with these kids, not to capture them, but to relay more information on how to escape. So guys, that was the end of the episode. Manga readers, how nervous do you feel? And anime onlys like myself, how do you guys feel? I'm totally on board with this season. Again, I was very nervous into seeing where the season was going to go so far, but I'm liking everything that I'm witnessing. But who knows, maybe I'm on the polar opposite spectrum of everyone else. So let me know in the comments down below, what did you think? If you got some value and entertainment from this video, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel for more anime content. My name is DJ Miles, and as I always say, to be continued, take care.